first time now I'm seeing the all-new Volvo XC90 myself. You know, Holger has done us a video from the world premiere, and we've seen there's so much interest about this car, really. Firstly at our new video, and you can also see it here at this small exhibition at the Volvo Ocean Race. All people are really looking to this car. It's very spectacular and so much interest really in this particular car. And well, there's a good reason for it, because this is the first all-new Volvo which is stand-alone, just from Volvo. They want to cut out the Ford path with this car to build this very first one themselves. And I think it's very exciting. You still got the basic Volvo features, you know, maybe from this very prominent front. You also know from the Volvo XC90. We have also reviews from that one we are linking in the video description. Also the video from the world premiere is also in the video description. Check out that one as well. And then you have some new elements, especially in the interior. We also will take a look at that one. Maybe if we take just a look here at the exterior. Here we got this famous Source Hammer LED daytime running lights, which is a very nice design feature. And this is here the inscription trim level, so the highest trim level that is available. For example, we also got this very strong front here at the lower part. Very nice thing. And I also like that you got this very bright front grille. The inscription version, if you take the highest trim level and read everything in it, it's about 92,000 euros in Germany. Just to give you a small hint, the basic version will be 50,000 euros, so you can easily double the price of that car. And exactly with this first edition, about 92,000 euros, some weeks ago, 1,927 Volvo XC90s were sold via the internet, without ever having driven the car, and it was actually no problem for Volvo to sell them. It was actually no problem. People just bought it because they maybe have seen our review. I don't know. And it really worked, this internet auction, because people are so very well interested about that car. And well, people are also trying to run me over here now. Very funny actually. Well, I think it's a very new idea to sell the internet over the cars and this kind of action to this kind of pre-sale. And it only lasted 47 hours and then all of the cars were sold. And well, we are going to explain here now why this might be happened. Here we got a better freestanding car. This is a Volvo Ocean Race special edition already of the XC90. And there we can also see a different color, for example. And we also see a roof box on the top there, so that will be also a possibility to use it even more versatile. I'm a friend of this new front grille because it's kind of bright, it's not dark. I don't like black front grilles, I rather prefer it that way. And you maybe also have realized that the lower ends on the left and on the right, well, these are rather just fake intakes. I think that looks rather cheap and is not very good for that high-pricely positioning car. What is very attractive are the 20-inch alloys we can see at the side of the car. We'll take a look at them right now. They really make this very strong appearance, but you always have to watch out. 21-inch alloys, that might be also dangerous, that you easily damage them. Now we are inside the car, and that's where all the magic stuff is really happening, actually. You see, there's a completely new cockpit. We used to have a lot of buttons still in the Volvo cockpits, and the main aspect is here now this central new console. We got this kind of iPad style. It's not as big as in the Tesla Model S, but still it's quite huge. And everything is controlled via touch. For example, here the temperature, you can either regulate here or just click, and also using plus and minus here. So whatever you are used to, you can still keep that one up. That works pretty well. Also for the seat heating, 1, 2, 3 levels for the seat heating, for example. And then just like with an iPhone or iPad, there's one central button that always takes you one step back, and you're in the basic menu. For example, you can check out the radar, basic menu back again, you can connect your phone, recent calls, for example. Everything works quite intuitively, I must say. About the GPS, does it load? Where are we? Are we into the sea? Or where are we? I don't know. Well, this is a prototype car, so something might not work immediately. But maybe take a look at here. We also got this virtual cockpit at the left side. Reminds us also of the new Volkswagen Passat or the new Audi TT. And we got a route here now saved in, and this is also adjustable how you take the view. So also very, very interesting here. I'm not sure why we can't see it now on the central screen. Maybe I can, let's see, set destination, not available in demo mode, avoid, maximize. Because I've seen one map here so far, and it's okay. Interesting. Ah. Now it's back again. Now we have the map. Okay. Oh, we're in New York City, guys. Hello everyone from New York City. Hello. In Seriously, it's also like with the iPad or the iPhone. You can just easily control that one here. That's very easy. You see, you can just put with the fingers and zoom out and zoom in. That's very, especially for the co-driver. It's easily possible to control and access everything also during the driving. Maybe not that relevant for the driver, rather for the co-driver. But especially when you are searching something inside the city, it's very easy to cruise around it. So I think it's a very clean solution. It's not too big, but not too small. In my opinion, it has exactly the right size. Well, the steering wheel, I'm a little bit disappointed about the steering wheel. You see this inside line here, this reminds us about the current Volvo steering wheels. Yes, it does. But still, for example, when you put here the airbag cover, it looks rather cheap, I think. So that could have been done better. But in general, the interior looks quite high class. Also about the top of the dashboard here. I think that should be artificial leather. It looks very well. This is of course the inscription trim level. There are also lower trim levels. But here the Bowers and Wilkins sound system, for example. Maybe what I don't like so much, I'm not sure if it's just because it's a prototype car still. You see the multimedia steering wheel. It's a bit loose here, maybe. It doesn't look too premium, I think. But what looks very premium and even more premium than BMW or Mercedes is this one here. This is the drive selector, and it's also, especially in the inscription version here, and it looks like a diamond. This is very, very classy. Also this whole middle console. I think this line, it reminds us a little bit at the BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe. Of course, you got this leather middle tunnel here now. That is very interesting as well. And also here about the button finishes. So they have thought about a lot of things and try to spice it up all, that you always have something to rediscover. The seats are classically very comfortable for Volvo. Not too new, I think, but I mean, you shouldn't change too much about the Volvo seats, I think. In this inscription version, you can also electronically lengthen up the seat when you're a taller person, for example. That's also very comfortable. Well, what else is, we also knew from Volvo that the back mirror does not have a frame up here. That is also very elegant, and I think you also have a better vision by that. At least for me, I can just say from my experience, I have better vision when the mirror is without a frame here. Above us we got a very huge panoramic roof. It carries on all until the rear wheels, and that should make the interior so much more bright. Well, about the vision, I can say, well, it's a very huge car. The full-size SUV, it can't get any bigger. It's 4.95 meters long, 2.15 meters wide, so when you just have the vision to the front, well, it is very massive, and maybe if you're not too tall, you should go up with the seat electronically that you can really still keep up the vision, because it's not too easy just to look in the front. Well, but the Volvo engines have also thought about that, and there's also a surround view camera view available for that one. So a front camera is filming what is in front of you, and also helps you while parking in, because otherwise it would be quite complex to see what's actually there, and you would maybe miss something. Welcome to the rear compartment here now. I can just say, for my first impression, it's really a luxurious car also here in the rear compartment. You got enough headroom, even if the panoramic roof is used, and it's also so comfortable here in the back. I could just start sleeping right now. There are also a lot of options here with the back seats. For example, every single back seat, the middle one as well, for all three, you can move in the front and in the back. So I mean, I can't go more in the front now because the front seat is rather in the back now, but you see here the difference. So if you want more space in the trunk, you can move the back seats in the front, you have more space in it. And then if you want rear passengers, you can just move that one back, so also tall people can sit here and have enough legroom. The middle seat has some options as well. First of all, you can also move that one in the front and the back, that's possible. And if you're just having two rear passengers for your drinks, everything is fitted here. And also if you have children, then you can move this central part here up, and you have a higher seat. That's also quite interesting as well. And when we will stand up now, we can also see that we can fold the seat. That's possible as well. But maybe just to show you something more else here, this is a separate climate control for the rear seats, and also a seat heating. 3 levels as well will be available for the rear seats. About folding, there are actually 2 possibilities. First, I got one lever here. You can see it automatically pops down, and you see it's really very even also with the back of the trunk. So if you want to load some very long things in here, that's quite nice. And it's also not easy to put it up again. Then the second possibility is, especially because there's also this 7-seat option. You've got the lever right here, and then the seat moves in the front, and then you can also push it. And that's actually a good possibility to access the seats behind you, because we got this 3rd seating row. It folds up electronically. It's very amazing here. Let's see if the headrest is... See, now it comes back again. That's a very nice system, I think. Okay, I can show you again. It's a button up here, and then it comes up. And I hope this time it also stays there. So I can sit down. No, please stay there. So, now the test. Well, it's not too good for adults, I must say. But you know, limited headroom, of course, yes. And if I would then put the seat in front of me, well, I don't have legroom here now, but maybe if the driver goes a bit more in front, and then you put this seat also a little bit more in the front, then it would also be possible for an adult to sit here. So it is actually possible. We also have some cars where it's not possible at all, because the 2nd row is fixed, but in that case it also really works. That is a very interesting piece, and so this car becomes even more flexible. Looking at the trunk, here we got the setup here now with the last row, so I'm going to show it up. We got the cable in here for the plug-in hybrid. This is the plug-in hybrid version. You see, not every one of that one is used yet. And then you see, even there, you can carry some suitcase, even if you carry 7 persons. Then you got this electric button here again. Oh, it was quite nice simultaneously. Then you can see it's very even here. So they paid a lot of attention to that detail. If you imagine that you can then push the second row in the front a little bit, or maybe even 40 seats, you can almost put everything in here, at least when it's long enough. What you must say is that for such a big car, you know, the height here is a little bit limited, so that might be a problem when you, for example, want to carry a bike without removing the front wheel. Well, I think that's the case because they also paid attention to the design. There's always that compromise between great design at the outside and a lot of space at the inside, and well, at the end you have to see what hobbies do you have and what do you want to carry, and then maybe test it, maybe ultimately at a dealer or something. But in general, all the quality here, also the clothing at the ground, that looks all pretty solid, and I think in general this car will be very promising, and I'm looking forward to driving it for the very first time, because that will, I think, be the deciding factor if it can really catch up with, for example, BMW X5, Range Rover Sport, and so on. So that was kind of a soft review from the interior especially. And then there are also a lot of hard facts as well, and we got an engineer at our site, you know, to explain us the technical details. It will be very interesting, so stay on for that one that is following right now. And now we're here with Jonas Klint. He was one of the chief engineers of the new XC90. Jonas, can you tell us something about the engineering side? Because it's the first all standalone Volvo now. What is so special in that one particularly?
I would say that this car has been produced with our own engineers, and it's 100% Volvo. We have made it without any compromises as far as we have looked at it. So the key word is without compromises and with people in the center.
So what is especially about the engines? What's beneath the hood? Is it something completely different than we have before, or does it have a comparison to what we have right now?
It's underneath the hood there is the Drive-E engine family. It's an evolution of what we have in the cars right now. It was released last year. The evolution saying so that we have HP diesel, 225 horsepower, and we have also incorporated it with a T8 top of the line plug-in hybrid, twin engine as we name it.
You also wondered about the chassis. Can you tell us something about that? What is the chassis made of, and how is it special in comparison to the chassis we had before?
Yes. The chassis has been completely revolutionized within the Volvo part. In the front you have a double wishbone suspension, and in the rear we have an integral link suspension. A funny detail about the integral link suspension is that it's fitted with a composite spring on the standard car. It is also fitted, you can also have it with an option of the air suspension. Then you replace the front spring with an air spring, and in the rear you replace the composite spring with an air spring. So that's the main part.
There must be some kind of mood among the Volvo engineers doing this stuff here completely on your own, like for the very first time. What's the spirit inside the team, and what do people like you and also your colleagues expect from this car here now when it goes on sale?
What we expect, and also what we know is going to be, is that it's going to be a completely new Volvo from a somewhat new Volvo cars, I would say. Because given that we are now a standalone company with a new stable owner being GD Holding, we have revitalized the engineering side as well as the marketing side. But speaking from the engineering side, the belief and the energy in the company has been really pushed up there. Since we have made it, as I said before, without compromises, we have more or less put all the technical details and the systems that we have come upon is in this car. So we have lifted it on more or less all the attribute areas that we have seen. It's some areas are much better, Some areas are a little bit better. I don't think there's any area which we have actually backed on. So we have lifted the whole car in terms of the attribute performance.
One of you have told us that you have doubts about the passenger safety in the rear compartment. What can you say to that? Because some of our viewers told us that especially in these big SUVs, the front passengers should be relatively safe, but the rear passengers, there might be some problems. What have you done to ensure the safety of the rear passengers?
The safety of the rear passengers is, first of all, all seats in the restraint system have belt pretensioners to keep them in place, and so you don't have the fall front behavior. The seat structures are on a completely new platform, and we have kept and we have improved the safety requirements for the seats, which is very much about how you protect the customers. And also we have the airbags, side airbags that go all the way through the third seat, protecting the customers in all kinds of different safety scenarios, I would say.
And my last question, what is your very favorite personal thing about this car? Just one aspect, or maybe maybe something about the design, or maybe one technical detail. What's your favorite?
If I would say so, it's if I may pick two of them.
Okay, two.
I can pick two.
Sure.
I think the design is very confident. It's a really new design based on the SPA architecture, which has made us get good proportions with the car, so it looks very good. In the design part is also in the interaction design with the new HMI, the touchscreen and the DIM and things like that. That's part of what I would put in as the design favorite. Another thing is the driving dynamics of the car. It's a pleasure to drive, and with the ride and handling with this car, it's if I put my chin out and say that, well, I think we will give BMW a real match in terms of the handling and ride here.
Okay, we are very much looking forward to drive the car for the very first time. Yeah. And well, as we have the engineer right here now, maybe it's also a good idea to look beneath the hood together with Jonas. Maybe we can take a look and then you can explain what is actually placed where. I think it's just like with the old Volvo, the opening. So this is beneath the hood now. You see it's a very huge opening also upwards, and so what is actually what here? That's of course the petrol engine here, but I mean, how much power has it, and what else are the parts here we see?
Yeah. You have the HP petrol, which is the compressor turbocharged engine. It's combined with electric. It's going to give us 400 horsepower in this plug-in version.
What's the power of the petrol engine alone?
The petrol engine alone, if you buy that as a T6, it's 320 horsepower.
320, okay.
Yeah. Technically, if you look at it, the engine suspension is what we call a neutral torque installation, which gives you very good behavior of the powertrain in terms of vibrations and booming and stuff like that. So this car, this petrol engine standing on idle is almost silent. You feel it's not running. And I'm actually surprised myself that it's so quiet. If you look in this specific installation, you have the high voltage inverters here, which is part of the plug-in system that communicates with the battery and the charge point. And also you have between the engine and the gearbox in the plug-in version, you have what we call a crank integrated starter generator, crank ISG, which is replacing the high voltage alternator used in the old V60. So you have roughly 15 kilowatts of electric power on the front wheels extra, and then together with the 80 horsepower on the rear wheel. So everything combined here is gives us this 400 horsepower.
How, let me sum it up again. How does it again work? Rear wheels, front wheels, what is the split between the electric engine and then the petrol one?
It's depending on the need, so to say. So it's within the control of the whole powertrain. So
but the basic version from the petrol engine starts at the front wheels?
Yeah. In the plug-in version, the petrol only drives on the front wheel.
Okay.
Yeah. And the electric system drives on the rear wheels mainly. And then you have the support from the crank ISG, as I told you before, supporting the front wheels.
So it can happen that the petrol engine is running the front wheels and then the electric engine is running the rear and the front wheels.
Yeah, simply explain this like that.
Okay, and if you just have the petrol engine, we have two petrol engines, right?
You have the empty version at the low end, which is the 254 horsepower version. That's
same as in XC90, this the new T5.
Yeah, it's the same engine.
Yes.
And then you have the 320 horsepower version, and that's only come in all-wheel drive. That's the one. So that's use a normal mechanical all-wheel drive system.
And in the serial version, do they come just with front-wheel drive, or is the all-wheel drive also serial?
We will start with having them only all-wheel drive, and then there will come front-wheel drive versions later during 2015. Ah,
okay. So when you don't have the plug-in hybrid, but just the petrol engines, they are rear-wheel.
No, there's either front-wheel driven or four-wheel driven.
Ah, four-wheel. Okay. Okay. So the all-wheel drive is optional as well.
Yeah, all-wheel drive is optional.
Then it also works that usually the front wheels are driven, and it's kind of front plus rear. It's the basic concept.
Yeah. So the base is the front, and then depending on the need, you push the load towards the rear. So to get the stability, if the car is wanting to have stability, let's say when you pull a trailer, which you can do here is 2,700 kilograms, that's the max. You have the chassis and the powertrain control systems push the stability of the car with getting more load towards the rear to get it better sitting with the trailer on, etc., etc. But it's a system that puts the load to the rear depending on the need, so to say. So it's not a fixed ratio.
Okay, and same with two diesels as well.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now we know almost everything about the Volvo XC90, at least from the engineering inside. I hope you enjoyed this technical review with us. And also, thanks to Jonas for this interview.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. And nice to speak to you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.